Hi, welcome again to part 3 of the HMO patient's journey. Remember in the first video, I showed you how a patient walks up to the front desk, medical records officer or reception to schedule an appointment to see a doctor because they feel feverish. And then in the second video, I showed you how Nurse Titi was able to process this patient and document vital signs. The one thing I forgot to mention in the previous video is that Nurse Titi needs to reassign this patient to a doctor for the patient to be able to see. So now Nurse Titi processes the patient and then reassigns this patient to Dr. Liz. Again, let me just state that you can decide to assign the patient to the doctor from the front desk already. It depends on how it works for you. So if it works, for you to assign to a nurse and then to a doctor, or then assign to a doctor and then have the nurse take document vitals, and then you finish the encounter, whatever way that works for you. HealthStack allows you to implement whatever flexibility or whatever structure that works in your hospital. So I'm going to log in as Dr. Liz. Now I'm logged in as Dr. Lee's course. Dr. Lee's would need to assess this patient from the check-in page or from appointment. So it's either Dr. Lee's clicks on appointment, sees the patient, ensures that the patient has been checked in, and then proceed to attend to the patient. Dr. Lee's can also click on check-in. If you click from here, you can always tell that the patient is checked in already. If the patient is in the checked in list, it means that the patient is checked in. So I'll click on the patient and click on attend to client. Now Dr. Liz has entered into the patient's documentations page. Dr. Liz would want to view details of the vital signs that was documented by Nurse Titi. We can tell that this patient is overweight and what have you. Now, Dr. Liz would want to, after all physical examinations and questionings, because this is a new patient, Dr. Liz might want to do a new patient consultation documentation. So, whatever works in your hospital, if the doctor takes this note or the nurse takes this note, whoever it is can take this note. So, Dr. Liz clicks on, let me show you how Dr. Liz selects a documentation template for new patient consultation, and you click. It opens the new patient consultation form. You want to fill that in because this is a first time patient, and that is it. Once we fill this up, we can save. Dr. Liz can also document clinical notes for the patient. Let me just say fever, headaches, and pain, body pain. So that's the symptoms. Let's say the clinical findings. Let me say not applicable yet. That's because I'm not a doctor. We can say let's add diagnosis. So let's say the diagnosis type right now, let's say it's our principal diagnosis is what we're adding. And let's say we're diagnosing this patient for malaria, and then you want to link this to an ICD-11 code. So you search for malaria, and we can see the different options for what applies to the patient. HIV disease clinical no. So let me select anti-malaria, and then I'll save diagnosis. We can also add some more diagnosis. So let's say there's a comorbidity. So let's say low blood, let's say anemia. I'll type anemia here. Anemia. So I'll just select this and I'll click on save. I've just added diagnosis successfully, and I'll enter the plan for this treatment. So let me say lab tests and prescription, whatever documentation that needs to be done here. Dr. Liz can save as drafts, because she wants to continue this documentation again. So I'm going to save this as draft, and we can see that this has been saved as draft. Dr. Lin can click this, at a future date to complete and let me say referral, just so I'll save as final, meaning that this is a done documentation. It's completed. And to view this documentation, you click on it. You can see all that was, documented, during the process for the patient. Another thing Dr. Lees can do is send this patient out for some tests. So I'm going to click laboratory requests, and I'm going to say we're sending this patient for malaria tests in-house. If you need to send to a different doctor, you can change that. So I'll click on add. So let's say we're also sending this patient out for PCV. So let me first explain that whatever it is you're searching here would have been set up, during the onboarding of your hospital. So you would be the one to set up whatever services you want to see here. So ensure that you're setting your services the right way, like adding your services to the right category so that it's easy to search for them. Now we're also sending this patient for HBH PCV. I'll click on add. You can add as many tests as possible. For the sake of this demonstration, I'll just stop here and click on complete. Now I have actually sent out requests for lab tests to be done. And our lab technician, if we have an in-house lab service, they will need to log in to see this order and then collect the patient sample and report it. Also, the doctor would send out prescriptions. So let's say we're sending out prescriptions for paracetamol. You can give a let's say 2 times daily. And I'll add. You can add more than one prescription. I'll click complete to finalize. And we have successfully sent out prescriptions for this patient and sent out lab requests for this patient. Now the doctor is done documenting this patient. One more thing the doctor might want to do is send this patient for admission. To do that, you click on action, go to end encounter, and click on admit to ward to send this patient to a ward location in your hospital. So let's say we're sending this patient to the executive ward. You give an instruction for this why you're maybe an instruction for the ward nurses to process this patient. I click on submit admission order, and we have sent this patient out for admission. So all of these other actions we would document, we would show you in subsequent videos. For now, let's limit it to sending out admission order, prescription, and lab orders for the patient. See you in the next video. Thank you.